There are forests in North America so deep and undisturbed. You could scream for hours and no one would hear you. You could disappear, and the mountains would never give you back. This story takes place just outside of Flagstaff, Arizona, near an abandoned fire lookout called Dead Pine Ridge. Locals don't hike there. They say the land is cursed, that it belongs to something older than any tribe. This is what happened when 3 friends ignored those warnings. Jake, Marcus, and Alana were inseparable since college. Every fall, they reunited for a weekend hiking trip. This year, Jake picked the spot. He'd heard about it from a coworker, a hidden trail system west of Flagstaff. No crowds, no noise, just miles of untouched forest. The 3 drove out Friday morning, excited for silence and stars. The trail started normal enough. Tall yellow pines, cool shade, the distant hum of insects. But around mile 6, the path grew narrow. Then, strangely quiet. Even the birds seemed to vanish. They hiked until late afternoon and found a small clearing near a dry creek bed. They set up camp. That first night, they stayed up laughing around the fire, swapping ghost stories like they used to in college. Jake mentioned the stories his coworker told, about whispers in the woods, about shapes that watched from the trees. Marcus laughed it off. Alana didn't. That night would be the last time things felt normal. Sometime around 2 a.m., Marcus woke up to the sound of crunching footsteps just beyond his tent. He listened. They were slow, too slow to be an animal. Then a voice whispered, "Marcus." It sounded like Alana, but strained, like someone trying to imitate her voice through a cracked radio. He unzipped his tent and shone his light. Nothing. Alana was still zipped inside her tent, asleep. Jake, too. The next morning, Marcus said nothing. Maybe he dreamt it. Maybe he was overtired. But as they packed up for a day hike, they noticed something strange. The trail they came in on was gone. Not overgrown, not blocked, just gone, like the trees had rearranged themselves. That night, they made a second fire. But no one laughed this time. The forest had changed. The temperature dropped suddenly. Jake said he saw something move in the trees, tall, pale, hunched. Alana said it watched them from the ridge for hours, never blinking. They decided to sleep in shifts. Marcus took first watch. Around midnight, he heard footsteps again. Same slow pace, same pine needle crunch. Then came the voice. Only this time it wasn't Alana's. It was his own. "Hey guys," it called out softly. "Over here." His blood ran cold. He stood up and circled the firelight. Nothing. When he turned around, someone stood at the edge of the clearing. It looked like him. Same clothes, same posture, but its eyes were wrong. Too wide, too shiny. It smiled, then ducked back into the forest without a sound. At dawn, they decided to leave. They didn't care which direction, just out. Jake led the way. Alana clutched a hunting knife. Marcus kept glancing over his shoulder. They walked for hours. By late afternoon, they realized they had somehow returned to the same clearing. Same logs, same fire ring, same torn wrapper from Jake's protein bar. Alana broke down. Jake cursed. Marcus just stared into the woods. That's when it called again. Alana? Her name, but it echoed from every direction. Marcus turned, saw movement in the trees. The mimic. But this time it wasn't pretending to be him. It shifted, stretched, its limbs cracking and reshaping into Jake, then Alana, then something else. A tall, skinless figure with long black hair, knees bent backward, and a mouth too wide for its face. It smiled and charged. They ran. Branches tore at their skin. Something chased them, but never touched the ground. It whispered their names over and over as if it was choosing which voice to steal next. Jake tripped and twisted his ankle. Marcus pulled him up. Alana screamed for them to move, just as they broke through the trees and onto a rocky outcrop. The forest behind them fell silent again. They didn't stop running until they saw the fire tower in the distance. By the time they reached it, Jake had gone pale. Marcus was shaking, and Alana had stopped speaking altogether. At the ranger station, they were given blankets and water. Jake told the story. The ranger listened quietly.
You weren't supposed to go past Dead Pine Ridge.
He opened a drawer, pulled out a photo from a file. It showed 3 hikers, taken years ago. One of them was Marcus. But Marcus was still standing right there, and he hadn't aged a day.